Neketsu Koha Kunio-kun, loosely translated, means hot-blooded tough guy Kunio. Released as Renegade in the West, it's a beat-em-up video game developed by Techno Japan and distributed by Taito for the arcades in 1986. In the original Japanese version, Neketsu Koha Kunio-kun, the game revolves around a high school delinquent named Kunio-kun, or Kunio for short. He must stand up against a series of rival gangs, frequently targeting his classmate Hiroshi. In the Western version, Renegade, the player controls a street brawler who must face 4 different gangs in order to rescue his girlfriend being held captive by a mob boss. Created by Yoshihisa Kishimoto, the game was semi-autobiographical, partly based on his own teenage high school years getting into daily fights, with Kunio partly based on himself. In order to make the game more appealing for the West, Technos produced a graphically altered version with a visual style inspired by their 1979 film The Warriors, changing the looks of some of the game's characters and scenery. He also drew inspiration from the Bruce Lee martial arts film Enter the Dragon, which inspired the game's knockdown drag-out fights, along with his own altercations as a youth. It was an important game that defined the beat-em-up genre, establishing the standard gameplay format adopted by later games in the genre. In contrast to earlier side-scrolling martial arts games such as Kung Fu Master, Neketsu Koha Kunio-kun introduced key elements such as a belt scroll format where players can move horizontally and vertically in a scrolling arena-like space, a combat system incorporating combo attacks, the standard 3-button control scheme, and a street brawling theme. It was the basis for Kishimoto's next game, Double Dragon, which further advanced and popularised its beat-em-up genre format. The game was ported to a variety of game consoles and home computer platforms. Neketsu Koha Kunio-kun was the first game in a long-running Kunio-kun series in Japan. The game's Western localization Renegade also spawned its spin-off series from the British company Ocean Software on home computers, with the sequels Target Renegade, Renegade 3 and The Final Chapter. Developed by Techno Japan, published by Taito, also released on the arcade, Amiga, Amstrad CPC, Apple II, Atari ST, Commodore 64, MS-DOS, NES, Master System, ZX Spectrum, Thomson PlayStation 2. Released in 1986, this single-player beat-em-up Renegade turns street smarts into street profits. And after that long tongue twister of a voiceover, welcome to Renegade. Okay, so I'm going to be playing it today on the Commodore Amiga and the ZX Spectrum, 2 of my favourite home computers from back in the day. Now, unfortunately, I haven't got a ZX Spectrum, but what I'm going to be playing it on today is the ZX Box Spectrum emulator machine. Go back on some of my videos. It's just a little Raspberry Pi Zero emulator ZX Spectrum. So yeah, so first up, as you can see loading in the background, is going to be the ZX Spectrum, interrupted by the music. So I'm going to play that first, and then I'm going to change over to the Commodore Amiga. Well, 1200 or 500 mini, I don't know yet, and we'll get some gameplay going on there. Right, so just before we get into it, I just thought I'd show you this. It's a lovely pixel bead art of Renegade, and it's from the first level, the subway level. I got it in 2016 Play Expo Manchester, I think. About 20 quid. Well worth it in my opinion. Yeah, and Renegade has got to be one of my all-time favourite ZX Spectrum games. You can give me the arcade, you can give me the Amiga version, you can give me any other version, but I'm afraid I was brought up on the ZX Spectrum version, and nothing will ever change that. Right, we have a cheap RGB keyboard, redefined keys, so we'll have O, P, down, up, hit is spacebar, and pause is T. Diddle-diddle-diddle. One game that I've never ever completed. I just found it a little bit too hard. Oh, oh. There's some colour clashing in it, but it's It's only really if you go looking for it. I mean, I know the ZX Spectrum did have quite a lot of colour clashing on some games. Oh, yes. Ta-ra, mate. It's quite similar to the new Turtles game, Shredder's Revenge. There's a level on it where there's quite a lot of bikers and you've got to get them off it by doing similar to what I've just done there. I don't know what version I've actually loaded, but I'm not sure if there's supposed to be in-game music. Was it the 128K version? Had music neither. Was it in-game or was it... Oh, shit. He was just going to do a twisty kick then. Graphically, it is really good. Whoops. You got to get him down with a back kick. Oh, fuck off. Back in the day, I just played Spectrum games purely on a keyboard, which found it well better. It was only towards the end of the Spectrum sort of, well, when I say Spectrum's life, when I got rid of my Spectrum, I decided to play with a joystick, and it just didn't feel the same. Keyboard was the way forward for me. Obviously, then playing it on the Amiga, the beauty of playing it on a joystick, but. Get down. This keyboard is so friggin' cheap that when I'm playing this game, it's actually bending. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Right, okay. I think level 3 was me limit. And then it's just got, could be level 2. Yeah, I'm killing. Just as you get older, your joints and limbs just can't take all this extreme playing anymore. Oh my God. Wow. I just fell off the end. Jesus. Right, okay, so that was a very brief look at the ZX Spectrum version. Now I'm gonna switch over to possibly the Amiga 1200. Yeah, gameplay on the Amiga 1200 next. So right, yeah, so see you in a minute. Right, WHD load it is, and Renegade again. Squeaky chair, as always. Right, okay. Right, okay, so Renegade on the Amiga, and just check that is exposed correctly. If not, I'll have to maybe do it again. In all honesty, I'm not going to lie. Compared to the Spectrum version, where's the sound? Oh, I'll put it on mute, that's why. What have I? Hang on. Hang on. We have a problem here. I need to address this situation. I shall be right back. Take 2. That's better. What I've done, I haven't actually plugged in the audio at the back, so yeah, getting no sound, just that staticky noise that you normally get. Right, so Renegade on the Commodore Amiga 1200. My first impressions when I seen this, after being sort of mesmerised by the ZX Spectrum one as a kid, was just one of utter shite. Big fat sprites, stupid, like smiley faces. How can anyone get their head smashed in and still be fucking smiling like that? Even when you're throwing punches, it's like jump in the air. Anyway, it's only a computer game. Right, let's get into it. Oh, shit. Yeah, it moves like... I don't know. I mean, look at the faces on them. It just doesn't do it for me, this game on the Amiga. It just keeps kicking backwards. What the fuck's going on? And that stupid irritating music. There's something going wrong here because... Oh, I'm dead. It's just utter crap on the Amiga. Now the arcade one is slightly better, but like I've said, why is he punching the floor? Why did you punch the floor? Proper porno music as well. I just don't get it. Getting your head smashed in. Turkey teeth, turkey teeth, turkey teeth. They've all been to Turkey. Wowzer. It's just, it's almost unplayable. It's just, he punches, then punches the ground. Like that, what the fucking hell's that? Oh. Well, I'm dead. Thank God. Now, unfortunately, there is no game capture on this one because this 1200, when I hook it up to an HDMI converter from RGB, the capture card doesn't like it, so you just have to pull up at what you see here. Similar little pockets of similarities on the original music there, but like it. So diagonal and kick is a back kick. Forward and that punch. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere here. Ah. Is it too late or am I going to do it? Nah. It's utter shite. Competition Pro joystick as well, just in case anyone was wondering. Jesus Christ. If you just hold it like that, and then they seem to freeze. These two turkey twizzlers here, let go. But then he kicks backwards. I just don't get it. Am I doing something wrong, or is this the way the game is made? Where's the boss now? I've got no chance. Absolutely no chance. Just kill me and just end this misery, please. the end. Thank fuck for that. Well, don't know what to say, to be honest with you. Has anyone else had that problem, or is it just me and my playing? I don't know. So yeah, that was a look at Renegade on the ZX Spectrum and yeah, the Commodore Amiga 1200. Right, so there you have it, some gameplay on the ZX Spectrum and Commodore Amiga. And as you've just seen, just in my opinion, I don't like or rate the Commodore Amiga version. The ZX Spectrum, I was brought up on it as a child, and that's the only version I played up until I seen the arcade version. It was sometime later, I've seen some screenshots of it. Back in the day we didn't have YouTube, so I couldn't like YouTube it, not like that. And yeah, I was pretty disappointed. I'm used to that thin sort of like nice moving sprites and stuff like that. Basic colours, really good graphics. And it was just sort of like fat graphics and fat sprites and stuff like that. It just didn't do it for me. So yeah, that wraps up today's video, unfortunately. And I know I know you're craving for more, but yeah. So what's next on the channel? I've got the Amiga 1200 that I bought for cheap and the Amiga 500 that I botched years ago. Yeah, cut the case and stuff like that. So the plans for the Amiga 500 are going to be, I'm going to restore it back to a working state. So what I'm going to do, the Batman pack that I mentioned last time, it does need to be cleaned. I've had it for years. When I bought it, I never cleaned it. So I'm going to strip it all down, keyboard, motherboard out, case the lock, give it a good soak, give it a good clean. And while the motherboard is out, I'm going to put it in this 500 that you've seen in a couple of videos ago. And I've got an idea for, it's going to have a GoTech in it. And I've got an idea for the screen. I've got the screen working now, the OLED screen, and I've got a little case that goes around it. So I've got a little idea for that. I'm just going to get it working and then put the motherboard back in the Batman pack, and I'll probably use the 500 just as a display piece. I'm also going to spray the case as well. I don't know what colour. I've ordered some keyboard stickers from forekeyboard.com, so I'm waiting for them to come. When they arrive, I shall be spray painting the keyboard and the case. The keyboard, I don't know, to go with red and black stickers on the top and a red case or a black case. No, it's going to be a black case indefinitely. The keyboard will more than likely be black and black stickers, or it could be red with black stickers on top. So yeah, watch this space. Cheers for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name?
Chewie.